Redneck.
And we're back. We had a busy first hour here on the TD show. We've got a second hour that's just as packed. We're going to start off our second hour here talking a little local sports, Metcalfe County High School sports. We're going to have a visitor here. We're going to have a phone call. We've got the head coach of the Metcalfe County Boys Hornet basketball team, David Cleveland's on the phone with us. Can you hear us, David?
Yeah, I can hear you.
How you doing this morning?
Doing good. How y'all
Doing good. Boys had a tough fought game Monday night, Class A in Glasgow. Can you just give us some thoughts, a little breakdown on it if you could?
Well, I thought our guys played really hard, did everything I asked them to do. It's a game I wish we could have won. We really need that win as far as moving forward in the season. But you can take that loss one or two different ways there. You know, we can say we give them all we got, and it wasn't enough, or we can build off all the positive things that we did in the game. Guys, you know, we talked about having small wins all season long, and here lately we've been having several small wins.
I agree. One thing I've said all year long is that I've never seen a team that plays harder than the boys play this year. I mean, they put out more effort than any Metcalfe County team I've seen in a long, long time. I mean, they can't get their shots to drop sometimes, and sometimes they're a little smaller, but the effort has been greater than any team I've seen in a long time.
Right. And the South Warren's a perfect example of that. You know, I think the score was 22-8 at halftime.
At halftime, right.
And I was a little fired up about that game, but the bottom line is we just didn't make shots against that team.
Yeah, it wasn't an effort issue there, or even a getting look shot. We just couldn't get them to fall against South Warren. In the second half, I mean, they battled back. They made it a closer game towards the end. There was never a point where I felt like they were out of the game against South Warren, regardless how far they got down. Just due to the effort, they were always in the game.
Right. Our team went to the Twin Lakes tournament over in Albany over Christmas break, and you know we kind of got away from everything around us, and we kind of grew as a team right there, and we came back and competed in the TJ tournament. That was my goal on the years, you know, kind of try to eliminate the running clocks and just have us compete and give ourselves a chance to win in the fourth quarter. And I think we've done a good job of that within the last couple of weeks. Glasgow's game, you know, like I said in the paper, guys, it hurt us and it hurt the team.
Mm-hmm.
There's times that we can walk in the locker room after a game and you know, the guys, you can't tell if we won or lost. And the other night, you know, we showed emotion on the court. There was emotion in the locker room after the game, and I told them, you know, when it starts hurting after every game, like the loss did against Glasgow, that's when we're going to start winning instead of just competing.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes losing can be easy, and that's when you get into trouble, when losing's easy.
Well, you know, I think we won the last two basketball seasons, we won 6 ball games, and, you know, I just wanted them to be able to compete, and if it's, you know, running a sprint and you have to do it under a minute, competing against yourself, competing against your team in practice, you know, we just got, and we're doing a great job of learning how to compete. You know, I had a guy step up in practice yesterday and say, you know, we had to do a quarter court in 30 seconds. He said, make it 27 today. You know, and those are the little things that, when we start doing those things and competing against ourselves in practice, and we have been competing in games, we have a quarter, and it's usually we either play a good first half and kind of lose what we're doing in the third quarter and get down big, or we come out. I guess you know you can say we come out flat in the first quarter and then have to battle the whole game. And until we start, you know, competing for fourth quarter, until the fourth quarter, that's when that's all you can ask. Give yourself a shot to win the game.
Yeah, Coach, something I've been talking about last week, I mentioned it a couple times, is going back to Class A a little bit, is that Class A for a school like Metcalfe County is an excellent tool to prepare for a postseason environment like district. And I think really so in our case, where we played so hard and had such a close game, that will really help us in the most important game of the year generally for a team, the first round of district.
Warren beat Russell County by 10 or 12
Yeah.
last night. Allen County beats Barron County. You know, and that's what I told my guys in practice. You know, of course, you know, we won 2 ball games, but if you look at our scores compared to this year, compared to the last couple of years, we are competing now, and I like flying under the radar. You know, when it comes tournament time, especially, you know, we're going to probably go into the district tournament with 2 losses against. You know, it depends on the outcome Tuesday night against Cumberland County, but we're more than likely going to get Russell County in the district. You know, and if that does happen, you know, Russell County smacked us around pretty good. You know, it's hard for any team to beat a team 3 times.
That's right.
You know, I don't care. You know, you know, I just want us to be able to keep flying under the radar and let people keep overlooking us, and then, you know, see what happens in the tournament. And that's ultimately what you prepare for all year long for the district tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it's always handy to have that underdog role in your back pocket going into the first round of the district tournament to fire your guys up a little bit.
And what I've looked at, I've been looking at the scores. I follow the scores pretty closely. I look at everyone we played every week, and most people we played, you know, the beginning of the year we came out and we were getting hammered pretty good, but our scores have been going up. And everybody that we've played that's been beating us, whether it's Russell County or South Warren who just beat us, they've lost some games. They've started losing some games. Their scores started coming down. With our effort, we're only getting better. I mean, I know Russell County beat us at home pretty bad, but I don't think that it's going to be, you know, out of this world to think that we've got a legitimate shot to beat them if that's who we end up playing in the first round of district.
Right. And you know, our score last year, I think we averaged about 32 points a game. We're up around 46 this year.
Yep.
Last year, there was times that we had more turnovers than we did points in a game, and that was one thing that I preached to the guys. That's one thing that I preached to the guys. Is, you know, I wanted to put up shots. You know, and last year it seemed like we just, you know, we tried to get certain people to score the basketball. If you're on the floor on my team and you got an open shot and don't take it, that's probably one of the quickest ways to get you to come out of the ball game, because you gotta shoot them before they go in.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That's right, ain't it?
Exactly.
And that goes into something I think that I've seen and I've noticed around the team is that the culture is changing a little bit. The past maybe 4 years, we kind of got used to losing. We kind of got used to having one guy that was supposed to score our points and take us. Every single person on that team, when you watch them play, they think that they can take the game over. They honestly feel like they can take the game over and hit the shots. Every single person on that team wants to win, and that's something that has to change around Metcalfe County, whether that's basketball or football. When you get used to losing, and losing is just what you expect, that's what you're going to get. They want to win. You can see it at every single guy's face. They want to win. They think they can win, and it just takes time, and you're going to start winning. I only believe that they're headed up from here.
Right. I think that we're moving in the right direction, and I made a little change in the lineup the other night, and, you know, whether I inserted Austin Pickens in the starting lineup, and, you know, it was like a light bulb went off in him, and I think that was all that Austin was lacking in playing the game. He would come in and give me a few minutes and get rebounds, but he didn't look to score. You know, in the Class A game the other night, he got that got the call to start, and he stepped up. I think he had 12 points and 9 rebounds, and it's just a confidence thing for these kids, because, you know, we took it on the chin for last couple of years, and they're starting to see, hey, if I play, you know, we can compete and move forward in the right direction.
Yeah, I played in a couple pickup games where Austin's been around, and he played completely different there. He's kind of loose, would throw it up, and at the time it just didn't seem like he had much interest in playing high school ball, or he didn't want to play, or he was scared maybe. I don't know if he was intimidated by it, but when he came in the games, in the high school games, he had a completely different demeanor than he would have in those pickup games that I'd seen him play. But a Monday night against Glasgow, he's throwing it up like I've seen him do out at the North Metcalfe gym, like I've seen him do, you know, at Mark Park and other places, you know, throw it up and hope it falls, and that's something he was kind of scared to do. You could see him stare at a three-pointer at a home game. I've seen him look down a couple without letting it fly, And Monday night he was letting them go, and I think that's a big thing. Him and there's a couple of young players on your team. I think that in a couple of years get a little experience under the belt, a little ability to push the ball a little harder, and things are going to look good. In a couple, towards the end of this year and next year, things are only going to go up, and I honestly believe that just by looking at the stats and what they've already accomplished so far.
Right. And like I told a lot of people at the start of the year, guys, we was at the bottom of the mountain, and I said about right before the Christmas tournament started, we're starting to see light at the top of the mountain. We're still not where we want to be, but we are seeing bright spots more often now, and we'll talk about those little wins. And I think we had 11 turnovers against Glasgow the other night, and we had, I think, 27 against South Warren the night before. And our offense in the second half against Glasgow was, the floor was spaced. We back cut well. We hit the open man. We got the shots we wanted. And if we continue to do that and improve on that part of our game, we are going to be competitive.
I agree that the offense against Glasgow, you could tell, was the offense that we've been trying to run all year. That was the offense you wanted to set up, you wanted to get into all year long. And for whatever reason, there have been times when people weren't making their screens or they weren't cutting and the bottom block wasn't popping up to the corner like they're supposed to. But you could tell that was the way that offense was designed to run Monday night.
Right. And, it's just kind of it's a 4-out, 1-in offense, back cut and move. And I'm trying to get the ball. When the kids catch the ball, we've got away from, and we're doing an excellent job of it right now, catching the ball, getting in triple threat, because it's just the little things, the parts of the game that we got so far away from over the last couple of years. I know Coach Mack preached fundamentals, and we kind of got away from that over the last couple of years. And when you start doing things fundamentally sound, good things are going to happen to you. And the second half against Glasgow, we did an excellent job of moving the ball. And I tell the guys, when you cut with a purpose. Don't just kind of go through the motions. Cut with a purpose. And our guys found the guys cutting with a purpose against Glasgow in the second half the other night, and we was effective by doing that.
I agree. And talking about the triple threat position, there's been times when we'd swing the ball over to the wing, whether it's the left wing or the right wing, and then Logan would flash up, or whoever was down would flash up, and he would be open, but we hadn't got set enough to feed the ball in there to him. And that's one of those things that just as you keep preaching on it and they keep improving on it, that's going to be open more and more and more. It's open already. We just can't get it in there. And I think that as we keep improving and keep going, it's just going to get better. I mentioned Logan Bell. There's 3 seniors on your team. Is that right? You got 3 seniors, or just 2?
Yes, sir. Logan Bell, Brandon Glass, and Austin Pigg are our seniors this year.
That's what I thought, and I can understand where. And if you watch them play, none of those guys are ever quitting. I mean, they're especially Logan. He is the hardest playing basketball player, even football player, just athlete as far as pure effort that I've seen in a long time. And it's got to be hard on him when it's your senior year and you're taking these lumps and you're losing these games, these close games, and other things like this. But what I think they don't know, I don't know if anybody tells them or if they know about this, but they're setting a foundation. What they're doing is very important for the future of Metcalfe County basketball. They're showing those juniors and those sophomores and those freshmen, even those 8th graders and the elementary school kids watching, this is what it takes to play Metcalfe County style basketball, the way we've always done it and the way we want to keep doing it. I just want them to know, if anyone's listening, that no matter how many games they win, I appreciate what they're doing to change the culture and to show those younger kids what it takes to win. Because if you look at Logan Bell and the way he plays ball, that's the picture of what it takes to win a basketball game. You get 5 Logan Bells on a team, I don't care if they're 5 feet tall, 110 pounds, 5 people with that effort are not going to lose very often.
That's exactly right. And I tell these guys every day, and what if they realize it or not, they're part of something special. Because as long as I have an opportunity to coach this team, we're gonna continue to play hard. And that's the bottom line. If you don't play hard, you're not gonna play. We're gonna continue to play hard, and I told them that. Whether you're part of it in practice, whether you're part of it in the game, you're going to be part of something special. The first group that I've ever got to coach and part of turning this thing around. And they've been told that they they know that they're going to be part of it, you know.
Well, Coach, you keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a good job. We appreciate you coming on. We wish you luck the rest of the season. We hope to have you on again soon.
Hey, thanks, fellas.
Thank you.
Dave. See you later.
That's David Clemens, head coach of the boys varsity basketball team, with a little insight for us there. And, you know, I mean, basically what everything said there was true. We got away from the fundamentals, and losing got easy. And when you do those two things, you're in a world of trouble.
Yeah, and he gets it. He completely understands what it's going to take to get things turned around. You don't come in, no matter how much talent you've got in the world, you would not come in and just change things. He understands that you're going to have to bust your butt, do this, dribble it this way, set your knees, guard your man the right way, take your time, release your shots, all the things that we've heard since elementary school that me and you had yelled and preached into us as we were playing ball. That's the things that in the clutch moments, you won't have to think about those things. They'll happen. They'll make things happen. He understands that the Metcalfe County basketball has always been about busting your butt and working hard. We've never had the biggest kids, never had the most talented kids. When we had success, it's because we busted our butts.
And it has to hurt. If it don't hurt, then you're not going to get any better when you lose or when you make a mistake.
And they want it. You can tell watching these kids and watching David more than anybody that they want to win. That's what they want. That's what they're there for. They're not there to have a good time. I mean, basketball's fun and they love it. But they're there to win, and they want to win, and they want to turn things around. And I think he's doing a great job showing them that this is how you do it, and they're headed the right direction.
To go back to Class A, the most recent game, just to talk about it, maybe for people who couldn't make it or didn't get to listen to it on the radio. I mean, a really close game against a pretty good Glasgow team.
Yeah.
I mean, close there at the end. We were within about 5 points the last 2 minutes and had a shot to tie or win the game. I mean, we had the last possession there. So
well, we had the last possession. We had actually 2 free throws to tie the game. We hit one, missed one, had to come down foul, and they had a free throw to hit one free throw to put it 50-48, and we ended up losing. But like you said, we came out third quarter, got a little down, got slumped, and then battled back. It's like a, you know, I've heard people say about Secretary at that racehorse that he couldn't win when he was out in front. He had to see that guy in front of him and then bust it. And that's what these boys do. They haven't got that, we're in the lead, we're going to jump out the gate and pounce you mentality yet, but they're on their way. When they're behind and they've got that underdog card you talked about, they come back. Let me give you a couple stats about the Glasgow game. Lost 50-48. Glasgow was 8-8 coming in. They're 10-8 now. They're averaging 66 points a game. So they didn't shoot much above their average. They scored 50 points. You know, they weren't missing too many shots. That 66 average is a little bit skewed. They had 2 blowout games. They scored over 80. You take out those 2 games, and they're averaging a little under 60, 59 points a game. So our defense held them. They played well. Our defense did a great job. We kept them right where they needed to be, right where they usually are. It wasn't a bad performance for Glasgow by any means. They played right about their abilities. We were only averaging 46 points a game. We came in and shot well. You know, we got it up to 48. The thing was we didn't turn the ball over, and we moved the ball well. We were able to slow it down a little bit, get things moving. Our game to win at the end, shots just don't fall. Sometimes it's just that. It's just bad luck. Shots don't fall.
yeah, and speaking about our kids playing hard and Glasgow's abilities, do you have Coach Tinsley's comments over here where you could just share just a little bit of them? He had an interview with the Glasgow Daily Times. Scott Wilson, I believe, is the reporter. I might be saying it wrong.
Yeah.
Right after the game. And this kind of goes into the thing with Richard Sherman. You say things right after a game that, you know, maybe you didn't necessarily think about like you would some other time.
Yeah.
But just to give us an idea.
And sometimes you have a flat game. It was a big game for them. We played really emotional games last week. The kids know what we did to Metcalfe County last year. We beat them by 90 points. You can talk about how much better they are, and sometimes you don't believe it. Sometimes you don't buy in. I'm not saying the kids didn't buy in, but until you get here, we didn't play very well or very hard tonight, and they just about got us. Give us credit. We found a way to win.
And 90 points in between two games.
2 games.
Yeah.
Right.
My thing is, if you're a basketball team or a basketball coach for Team A, and Team B comes in and makes you look not as good as you usually are, for job security purposes, why wouldn't you just say that Team B played a really good game?
Yeah.
And, I mean,
Team B,
give credit to them instead of taking away from yourself.
that's it. I mean,
Be humble and be modest. I mean,
and that's the thing. They came in and they thought, well, you know, we're going to handle Metcalfe County. We've handled them the past couple years. Probably handled us for 3 or 4 years pretty well. They didn't understand what I've been saying and what me and David were talking about. This mentality that this team has. It doesn't matter if this team gets down 40. They're coming at you wide open throttle, and they're going to try and win that game. That's something that we didn't have last year, even with a lot of the same kids that we've got this year. Is a no quit, never die attitude, and that's what's going to propel these boys.
yeah, and I mean, what are you
teaching your kids?
Yeah, what are you teaching your players? Because the players are going to mock whatever the role the coach takes, and you're basically saying, well, if a team might not be as good as us, we can just slack off and we'll probably win it in the end. There's really no need for us to play hard if we think we're better than another team.
Yeah, and that's something that you know they've maybe had a little more privileged background as far as basketball goes in Glasgow. They've had maybe a little more success over the years, but that their style and our style is different. Even the years when we were good, even the years when we went to the state tournament, you know, we even won a game in the state tournament. We've won multiple Class A regions. We've won multiple district championships. We've had some really good teams. We didn't get there by being a finessey team. We didn't get there by running a complicated offense or doing a lot of point scoring. We got there by out hustling and out working people. That's what our boys do. You tell them that you're going to beat them by 45, and that's going to fire them up. They're not making themselves any friends, doing themselves any favors by coming out and saying, well, the only reason we almost lost is because we didn't shoot it very good or because we were flat. They're really not that good. Metcalfe County is really that good. They're really improving. They're really working hard.
If we shoot a 3 and win by 1, I mean, is his comments after the game, well, we didn't play hard.
We decided
we were better than them, but they beat us.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll let us go ahead and advance to the next round of Class A. Just we're better.
Right. I mean, and you know, I've heard the arguments about this for a long time. I'm always going to be a Hornet fan. I'm always going to stick up for them, and I honestly believe that they've got a lot of talent. They've got a lot of hustle. They've got a lot of desire, and things are going to head the right way.
Speaking of what's coming up, you got our schedule coming up here.
This week we've got Greenwood and Taylor. Greenwood's on the 27th. That'll be on Monday. They're 7-8, averaging 61 points a game, but they're on a 2-game win streak. But they weren't real good teams that they've beat lately. They played Monroe and Russell and South Warren, just like we've played. And they lost to all 3 of those teams, which we've also lost to. But we had a close game against South Warren, had an opportunity to beat them. They did play Glasgow, and they beat them. They won by 7. Glasgow only scored 59 on them. They only scored 50 on us. They've got 4 seniors and 4 juniors. They're a little older than us. But once again, I've never met, well, we're going to talk about this in a minute, but so far, there's not been a team that we went up that I thought we just don't have a chance. We've got a shot.
Right, I mean, they can beat every team they're getting ready to play.
Yeah, Clinton is one of the best teams we've played, and up against them, that was the only time I thought, man, they're pretty good. But so far, every team I've seen us play, I thought we had a shot, and I do think we've got a shot against Greenwood. We're going to play Taylor on the 31st. That'll be next Friday. They're 14-4. They're really good. I mean, they're probably number 1 in the 5th region, if I had to guess. They're very fast and they're very physical. They've scored 90-plus points 4 times a year. They average 74 points. So at 90 pushing that 74. But they've done it 4 times, unlike Glasgow, who got their score bumped by a couple blowouts. They've done it consistently. We can beat them if we slow the ball down and run our offense all the way through. That 4-out, 1-in flash offense that David's talking about, that's a clock eater, and you can get good shots off of it. If we can run our offense, stay in our game, not turn the ball over, that's what gives us a chance to beat them.
Real quick, before we're going to run out of time here against the break, we've been talking about the boys. I want to give the girls credit too, because they played one of the better teams in the state, and hung there. I mean, it wasn't a blowout. They hung with them at any time in the game. They were within that span of where you can make a run and surprise or upset a team.
Yeah, Allison Caffey actually came down and hit a 3 at the end to put us within striking distance in the 4th quarter there. She's been shooting a couple threes lately, and she's been knocking them down. I think Last week she hit 3 in a game. We've got a lot of girls that can step out and shoot it pretty well. What happens with our girls is making good decisions. We can't throw the ball into the corners and get trapped. We got to be careful around the half-court line. We got to make good decisions, not turn it over. Plenty of talent. We know what Jordan Samuels can do. She scored 1,000 points. We know what Mackenzie Coleman can do down low, especially if when they converge on her, she kicks it back out. And now we've got a couple more outside threats shooting the ball. Girls have a good chance.
Yeah,
I mean,
as much upside as the boys have, the girls have just as much too.
Just as much. And we talked to Miss Fees a couple weeks ago. And we spent a lot of time on the girls. We spent more time on the boys today. But I do think both of them they're better than their records. Both teams. They both have a lot of skill and a lot of talent and a lot of hard work.
We're up against the break here. We're going to come back for another segment, try to talk Olympics, try to get in a little MLB talk with the Tanaka signing to the Yankees. We'll also talk go outdoors, talk a little turkey hunting. Be sure to refresh your browser about 3 or 4 minutes, and we'll be back.
We're not